My name is Agnes Hilda Ajambo. I am the director at Action for Humanity Uganda. Action for Humanity is a local non-profit making organization promoting quality education among the most vulnerable children, advocating for justice through legal aid for the disadvantaged, promoting child rights and economic empowerment for youth and women. The organization was founded in 2010 to respond to impoverished conditions of people in our community. We believe that sharing love in simple ways can actually impact lives. For example, I was cared for by Malaysians Thomas and Evelyn Fan when I was only 10 years amidst poverty experiences, orphanhood, and also God used other people as I was growing up. But that help that those people gave transformed me, helped me to grow into the person you are seeing today. And now with the help of my husband Emmanuel, other friends, and the community, we are sharing God's love with suffering people such as those in the images that you will look at next. Matthew chapter 25 verse 35 to 40, we are called upon to share the love of God with others. And that is what we do at Action for Humanity. However, we cannot do it on our own, we cannot do it alone. We need a helping hand, we need a heart that is willing to work with us, we need prayers. We hope that you will be touched, you will be willing to stand with us in any way. God bless you.
This is Simon. Simon is a 12-year-old child living in Kiriamuli village. He lives with his grandmother. Simon was burnt by hot boiling water. His grandmother was not able to afford the treatment for his recovery. Action for Humanity was able to support his medical care, and Simon is now back in school. Simon, however, lacks the basic necessities of life. He lives in abject poverty. He lacks clothing and adequate food for his care. Simon is one of the people that Action for Humanity has endeavored to care for. This is Anastanza. Anastanza is 11 years old. She lives with her aunt in the town of Nabinaka village. She was found with a developing cancerous wound, and her aunt could not afford the required treatment for her recovery. Action for Humanity was able to help her as well. Anastanza is currently in primary 3 and doing better thanks to the effort of Action for Humanity. These are community mothers and their children. These mothers participate in the PDH Positive Deviance Health program for the Action for Humanity. These mothers are gathered from the communities where they live in poverty. Their children are often malnourished. Many are suffering from odema, kwashiorkor, and general deficiency of balanced diet. These children are collected in a single household in the community, where they are taught how to prepare meals that are balanced in health for their children. This program runs for an entire month, where these mothers are gathered and taught the basics of health and nutrition. Many of these children are receiving such a balanced meal for their first time in life. This is the home of Akonyera. Akonyera is an 8-year-old girl who stays in this home with her mother and 2 other siblings. Her mother, as you can see, lives in abject poverty. Her mother is not equipped with any skills of life. Akonyera suffers from epilepsy. Akonyera had not been able to receive any treatment or medical care of any sort. She has lived her life in misery. Thanks to the effort of Action for Humanity, Akonyera is currently able to receive the medical care that she so requires. She's now able to attend to school. Unlike before, where Akonyera would not be able to attend school because of her medical condition. The story of Akonyera is one of several stories of mothers living in abject poverty with their children, in hopeless situations, with no hope for a future. Thanks to the effort of Action for Humanity and its partners, these people can afford a smile on their face. This is 6-year-old Jaspana. He is one of several children that Action for Humanity cares for. He has mental development challenges. He has been in the same class for the last 3 years. Him and many other children just like him require special attention for their proper development. Action for Humanity endeavors to provide such care to Jaspana and others just like him.
Due to the different challenges in which we meet these children and the impoverished conditions in which they live, sometimes we have been forced to provide an alternative home for them by keeping them at the Action for Humanity Child Care Center for a period of time. At the Learning Center, where we sometimes provide an alternative home for these children, there are various challenges given the number of children. We have 2 centers where we keep these children. One of them is at Hoima town, and the second one is at Chigogwa village in Wakiso district, where we have actually given up our own home to share it with these children during the time when they have to be improved or they have to be rehabilitated, maybe when conditions in their families are being improved, for them to be reconnected to their relatives, guardians or parents, depending on the situations, because some of the children are actually orphaned, others maybe are neglected, and maybe others, their parents are away for various reasons. So we work with our legal aid team sometimes to reconnect these children to relatives who can give them a better environment. Now, the challenges at the Learning Center vary. At the Hoima Center, which was our first center, the conditions there are improved. We've been able to work on that environment, and there is also running water, so that place is kind of fair. The most difficult environment is the one at our new center, Child Care Center in Chigogwa, where there is limited access to water. The community is water strained. We only access water in boreholes, which are 30 minutes to 40 minutes away from the center. So we have to engage children in fetching water, which is difficult for them. They have to carry 10-liter jerry cans or even 20, depending on the age of a child, and then they have to go with the caretakers and teachers to fetch the water and then return to the center. It would be helpful if we had tanks So far, Action for Humanity has put up one tank, which is 500 liters, but the children need at least 2 extra tanks, maybe 2,000 liter tanks, 2 of them. That would help to keep to harvest the water. Another challenge that children face while at the center is lack of clothing. Because the children are received from very, very difficult conditions of poverty, sometimes they just have one cloth. The caretakers have to wash the clothes in the evening and dry them through the night. Then the children have to use the same clothes the following day. During the rainy season, when the clothes won't dry, it means children actually have to wear wet clothes. So Action for Humanity spends money in buying clothes for these children. We usually buy them in form of uniforms, but these are very expensive in Uganda, and you find that the money that would be spent on other important things goes into clothing the children, to have them at least maybe have 2 clothes so they can change. Some of the children come to the center without shoes because they are picked in villages and their life is so hard, and so sometimes they have to do without shoes or even without slippers. Now going to the toilet without a slipper, it's not even a toilet here, it is a pit latrine, and because there are many at the center, it's not clean. So the children actually need slippers and shoes. We do try to provide, but at times the children are many, because currently at the Chigogwa Center we have 126 children, and then at the Hoima Center we have 200 of them. So it's sometimes difficult to replace the shoes or slippers for all these children. Another challenge that we experience at the center is inability to hire a center nurse due to resources at the organization. So children have to be linked up to external nurses or clinics or hospitals for treatment, which is very expensive. It would be helpful if the organization could hire a center nurse. That is something we are working on, and we hope that we shall be able to achieve it sometime. At the Learning Center, we are faced with the challenge of inadequate reading materials for children, even textbooks, age-appropriate ones for the different classes. The books are really expensive, so the organization buys the teachers' copies, and then the guardians are requested to contribute towards the children's copies, which they don't because of their lack of funds. So in the end, the children will be in class depending on only the teacher's copy of the material, and due to that, there is a slow process in learning to read. For example, only 20% of the children at the center can read an English, small paragraph at the age of 9. That shouldn't be so. We really need to increase on the reading materials, but also on the textbooks available for the different subjects. Now, of course, because there are few reading materials, few textbooks, definitely the centers do not have a library. So the children cannot go into a secluded place and read. They just have the classroom, and of course, no extra textbooks. They have to depend on the notes the teacher has provided in their textbooks. Now, the centers also lack computers. We only have access to one computer, which is the director's computer, and of course the director always has to go with it elsewhere where she works. So the teachers cannot really do any work on the computer. They cannot type anything. They have to go to external services to buy their tests, even to photocopy the test. Maybe when they get a paper and then write down the exam or test, then they have to go and photocopy it. The process is actually extremely expensive. The centers need to have some photocopying machines and maybe some computers. Even one would be helpful at the learning center. Another challenge that we have faced keeping the children is
lack of play materials, that the people who work at the center and the children have been creative to make locally available play materials, like they make dolls out of banana fiber. They also make balls out of banana fibers and also out of polythene bags. They also make skipping ropes out of the banana fibers. But these are not enough. The children are also engaged in molding using clay soil, so they are able to make different molds like pots or cups, things that they see in the center or at home. This helps them to learn, but really it would be good for them to have more play materials, because there are many children, different age groups, and so the different play materials could help them with their mental development, but also their physical development. But they are also engaged in normal activities like jumping for children. They use stones to play on the ground. They do enjoy themselves, but they lack a television at the center, so they are not able to have some time to learn with videos, which would be helpful for their age. We do appreciate the communities who have contributed towards our work, the guardians. They have been helpful, because we would not have done this on our own as Action for Humanity. The people contribute food. The only challenge is that their food contributions are inadequate. The food at the center gets finished before the program ends for that season. And so we have faced challenges having to buy food, and the organization went into agriculture. Action for Humanity involves in farming to kind of increase on the food availability at the child care centers.
The directors of Action for Humanity have so gracefully provided funds out of their own pockets, out of their own personal resources. They have funded various projects. They have also provided their own house. They now share with the children. They have also provided 2 acres of their own personal land to be used by Action for Humanity. Action for Humanity plans to construct adequate housing for the children on these 2 acres of land. These directors have believed in the vision of Action for Humanity, that they have gone out of their way. One of them, who's a practicing lawyer, provides his own time and expertise to help members of the community that so desperately need his help. He has provided legal aid to members of the community that are desperate. He has also provided legal aid for children who need an advocate on their behalf. These directors believe in the vision of Action for Humanity. We are calling upon various people that are fortunate enough in life that can afford to make a donation, that can afford to give their time, that can afford to give any materials, that can afford to give any resources of any nature to help such desperate children.
My name is Shadow. I am in primary 3 class. This is the dorm for girls for EMILOVE school. The beds are not enough. Some children sleep on the floor, and yet it is not yet cemented. Even there is no TV, it is just boring. Thank you.
To help such desperate families, to give hope and a smile upon a child's face. We are asking you to partner with us. We have a vision to create a home, an adequate home for such unfortunate children. We are praying that the Almighty God will touch your heart that you will be able to partner with us to make this dream a reality. Thank you. May God bless you.